What are your thoughts on Toledo here going into this series?
Old lineup, old team. It's a group that has a lot of returning pitching, a lot of left-handed guys. First two guys up front are going to be left-handed. Their closer from last year, most reliable arm's going to throw in game one. Their top three of their top four returning hitters are all left-handed. So probably common theme, age, because they're old, and more left-handed pitching and more left-handed hittings for the veteran guys from them than anything else.
You guys released the starters this weekend. Just kind of what went into that decision. I guess specifically what went into Colin Clark being the game one on Saturday starter.
Full body of work, what the guys are doing. Whether it's combination of what they're doing this year and in the past, it's just a full body of work, and the guys that have earned it are on the starting rotation.
You guys gonna have some sort of pitch count since it's early here in the year?
Of course.
Is there a number there, or is it just kind of see how it goes?
Go into that.
No.
You've seen Grayson and Clark obviously last year. What can you kind of tell us about the other two guys starting for you this weekend?
Well, Jason Wright's is a real pro prospect. Depending on how he develops and the confidence that he gets, he's got the upside to be a day one draft. It's that good. So he's really got a chance to be fantastic. The other young guy is a freshman, Will Sanford. Sunday he's going to roll out there on game 4, and he's pitched exceptionally well. Really high-end talent. He was the San Diego pitcher of the year a year ago in the San Diego County, which is really hard to do. It's a lot of good baseball down there in San Diego, as we know. And he was the best guy down there, and we were fortunate enough to be able to sneak him through the draft and get him to campus. And so, he's earned it too. He's pitched really well, and I think you'll see how good he can be.
A lot of people probably assumed Grinny might be starting Friday, but you made it clear guys had to earn roles in the preseason. What does it say about the mentality he took leading up to this opening series to earn that job and earn that trust from you guys?
Full body of work on Grayson. The way he ended the year last year, really good in the regionals versus Santa Barbara, petered out the super versus Texas A&M. Junior arm. His full body of work has been pretty spectacular here at Oregon, and so, with that considered, he gets the ball on game one. He gets the nod, and after week one, it's really going to be an earn it type thing. How do things settle for week 2, 3, 4? The whole thing. We get this we get the beginning of the season, the first 3 weeks, and the off season that we just got done with to be able to determine who's going to be pitching moving forward. So we use that information now in weeks 2 and beyond after that.
What kind of goes into lineup construction here over the next 2 days before you guys start play on Friday?
There's still some spots that are undetermined. There's a lot of ability out there, a lot of talent, and so just who puts together, who wins the jobs, really. There's some really tight battles right now, and so even if a guy doesn't end up starting in game 1, he could be starting on game 2 and beyond. There's a lot of good players out there.
What are kind of the positions that are up for grabs right now?
I don't know. The ones, it's kind of like what's not up for grabs. There's good players out, in each one of those spots. And so, and it's just not like, in years past, we've probably had a separation of 8 guys or 9 guys that separate from the pack. This year there's just a lot of really good players that, I don't know. I can't answer that question. Who's going to start on day 1?
In your years of being in college baseball, how do you take in the first series, whether it's really good or really bad, as a foreshadowing for the rest of the season?
Don't know. Never really had a really bad deal. I don't think too much on opening weekend. I at least I blocked those out if that's happened. It's a long season. You really want to just go day by day. And so our focus really isn't even on the weekend yet. We still have a couple of prep days to go before we even get there. And so it's really just on today. Cliche-ish, but it's true.
Well, that's kind of the unique challenge in baseball specifically, where when the bullpen's been an issue in the postseason for a couple of years, but you're playing a 50 and what you hope is a 60-plus game season, you can't only focus on addressing one area. So what is the challenge in trying to address something that's clearly been a weakness at times, but you still have to construct the whole roster and get a new rotation, get a new lineup, some of these things but you don't want to leave that as an Achilles heel when you get there.
lot goes into that. You know, the construction of a roster is to try to have a complete roster. You know, by the end of the season, you know, how many able bodies or arms or whatever do you have to be able to pitch in postseason games varies by the weekend. And we saw that last year where we didn't even have 3 of our active players weren't even in a position to be able to throw. And it wasn't even because of arm injury, it was because of illness. And so that really can hamstring you at the wrong time of year, which we saw a year ago. You know, our bullpen's been a strength of ours since we've been here. And it's something that I continually think that will be a strength moving forward, even into this year. Our initial thoughts, though, with roster creation is real simple. You know, have a complete roster where we don't have any gaps in there. We're going to have a balance of, it isn't like we're going to put more eggs in one basket and then be weak somewhere else. You know, I mean, you got to be complete. You got to stay healthy for you to make a run on this thing all the way through the end of the College World Series. And so we've been able to accomplish a lot of objectives here, and we're hoping to take more steps forward this year.
What do you feel about the pitching depth heading into this season?
So far, it looks like it's improved, you know, and we haven't started yet. So it looks like it's improved, and our position players look like they've even improved.
You guys feel like you have a complete roster?
Getting closer. By the day, I say yes, but still yet. You know, I mean, you know, a complete roster means every man's healthy and every man's legit. And so I think we're getting closer to that point in time. I think right now we have every man that has the potential to be legit. And it's improved, and it's improved from previous years for sure.
You guys mentioned going against 2 left-handed pitchers to start against Toledo. You guys, are you in favor of kind of platoon matchups here? We're starting more righties and lefties. You guys are kind of lefty heavy at points.
You have to come to the games. Happy Valentine's Day.
With how well Anson played the outfield last year in the Super Regional, do you kind of expect him to be rehomed out there full time playing the outfield, or is he still going to give you reps behind the dish?
It's a good question. He's, you know, he's in there to be a starter at catcher as well. He's just a really good player. He can start at catcher for us. He can start in center field. If you can start in center field, you can start in the other 2 spots in the outfield, and you can also start at first base. We saw him do that really well last year. So he's a valuable guy. He's played really well, and it's going to be fun watching Anson this year.
Chase obviously had such a breakout year with the bat last year, carried it through to the Cape. What's kind of been the biggest step you've seen him take over the summer coming into this year, and what's kind of your expectation of him?
Just strength, maturity. You know, he's a team leader, and he's got a real chip on his shoulder.